Nespresso recommends descaling, or effectively removing limescale residue on the Nespresso Lattissima coffee machine when the cappuccino button shows a steady orange light as shown here. Today I'm going to show you how to descale your Delonghi Nespresso Lattissima coffee machine, so by the end of this video you'll know how to descale your machine. Okay, so some of the sequences are shortened on this and that is indicated on screen, but in the meantime let's jump into the detail. Okay, so this is part one, so preparing your machine for descaling. So the first thing we need to do is actually turn the machine on. So if we press the on button at the back of the machine, as you just saw. Now it may take your machine a short while to warm up, depending on when you last had it working. The next part is to actually remove any pods which are in the chamber on the top by opening the flap and putting it back down. And then emptying the waste collection tray in there to remove any excess liquid or water or any pods itself. And then remove the water filling tank and remove any water or old water that you have. So if we make sure that's empty and put that back on as well. Okay, so we need to fill the tank with approximately 500 millilitres of cold water. So if we take the waste water and the pod away, we have a jug or 500 millilitres approximately of cold water. Now if we take the water container off and we fill that up accordingly. And what we need to do is then also put 500 or put a sachet of the descaling solution very carefully into the water container. Just make sure every drops out of that. Okay. And what we now need to do is to replace the water container very carefully on the back of the machine and ensure that the lid is actually closed down. So this is part two, actually descaling your machine. The water and the descaling solution is in the water tank, ready to go into the machine. Now this should take approximately 10 minutes, but the sequence will be shortened. Okay, so the first thing to do is actually open the entrance under the panel where the milk container goes, and you'll see there you've got a hot water nozzle. So what we need to do is to take that off. Okay, like that. Close that back up, and you see the flap here where the, if you like, the milk container attaches to the machine. If we slide that across and we pop that in there like so, making sure that it is securely attached. What you'll also see is that the cappuccino button on the bottom right hand side on the top of the coffee machine is now flashing orange. So basically that means that the machine is now in descaling mode. So with the hot water nozzle in and in descaling mode, we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so what we now need to do is put a bowl or suitable size container, so basically to hold up about 1 litre of water, under the coffee outlet here and the hot water nozzle here. So if we move the drip tray out, so we've got a level surface, and obviously you need something which is going to fit nicely under there and so it's safe and secure on there. So with the bowl in place, the container in place, we'll now move on to the next step. Okay, so what we now need to do is to press the cappuccino button, which is flashing here. If we press that, and you'll notice that the light will start flashing, alternating a different colour between the actual cappuccino button there and the latte macchiato button above. And the descaling solution will flow through both the coffee outlet and the hot water nozzle, as you can see now. And what we need to do is wait until only the bottom cappuccino button is flashing orange yet again. Okay, so you can see that the machine is probably about a quarter of the way through this. And it's quite normal for it to make quite a lot of different noises as it's going through the cycle, so don't be concerned. Okay, so it's coming to the end of descaling. So what we need to do is let it finish and just wait until the cappuccino button is actually flashing orange once again. Okay, so as the liquid descaling solution is running out, you can hear it's making a very different noise. Okay, and there we have it. The cappuccino light is flashing orange once again. Okay, so the next part is we need to empty the descaling solution from the container in this case, or bowl if you're using it. Obviously taking good care because of the descaling solution in that. So we'll go and do that now. Okay, so let's move on to part 3, which is rinsing your machine. This will again take approximately 5 minutes and the sequence will be shortened. So the first thing we need to do is, if we get the drip tray, and we just make sure that any excess liquid is emptied into there. Okay. And then what we also need to do is to take the water tank off and rinse it thoroughly under the tap. Now I do this several times to make sure there is no descaling solution left in the tank. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so if we remove the wastewater, we have actually rinsed the water container out several times just to make sure there's no descaling solution left in there. And then what we need to do is to refill the water tank with fresh cold water to a maximum level. So if we do that now, and replace it back on the machine itself carefully. I need to replace the bowl, or if you like container in our case, back under the coffee outlet and the hot water nozzle. So what we now need to do is press the cappuccino button, which you can see is flashing orange again as mentioned earlier. So if we press that, and you'll notice that the buttons will actually flash blue and alternate between the cappuccino button and the latte macchiato button there. The water actually alternates between coming out the hot water nozzle and the coffee outlet in this case. When the machine has finished rinsing, it will stop. Okay, it's now on the coffee outlet, rinsing that out. And as I said earlier, it goes through all sorts of strange noises, but when it comes to the end, the machine will just stop as it's about to do now. Okay, so the machine has stopped. So what we now need to do is to take the, if you like, water away from rinsing. If you're finding this video useful today and the information, please comment below. And we're now going to look at part 4, exit descaling mode on your machine. Okay, so the first thing to do is to detach the hot water nozzle and to put it back under the panel where the milk container would sit, where we took it out earlier. So if we open the panel here, and if we just carefully take that out, and just be careful because there might be some hot water residue left in the pipe. So if we pop that back in there, close that back up, and we close the button. And then what we need to do is actually empty the drip tray again, just to make sure we get rid of any final fluids. Now, I actually will go and rinse this out, so we'll go and do that now. Okay, so with the drip tray rinsed out thoroughly, we'll pop that back into the machine. And basically the final thing I would say is to clean the actual machine with a damp cloth, or just rub it with a damp cloth to get rid of any excess liquids that may have escaped during the process. And by the way, be sure to subscribe to be the first to see similar tech related videos in future, including how-tos like the one we've done today and product or service reviews. But we've got a useful video coming up, how to use the Delonghi Nespresso Lattissima coffee machine. The link is on screen now. If we turn the machine back on again, just very briefly. When we started the video, the cappuccino light was a solid orange colour, which indicated it needed descaling. As the video has demonstrated, we've descaled this and now the light has gone off, so that's a good indication that the descaling has worked effectively. But that's it for now. The coffee machine should be ready for you to start making great tasting coffee again. We'll see you in the next video, but thanks for watching how to descale your Delonghi Nespresso Lattissima coffee machine. Bye for now.